Well, we are here and going to have a debate with the Green Peas and Dig. And so the first question is genetic engineering fundamentally new?
I'll let you start off.
Well, although it's not completely new, genetic engineering is completely different from traditional methods because it's taking in genes from other species and moving it into something completely different.
It's crossing biological barriers.
Well, I'd have to say we've been doing it for a millennia now. People have been manipulating crops and moving different things to different flowers and making different colors and all this stuff. So honestly, is it really harming us that much? I don't think so.
That's a great response. Next question, are foods from GMO crops safe? What do you say?
Well, there are no inherent differences between foods with GMOs and organic materials that we have found yet. There have been reports of allergies, but those aren't necessarily true. When they are crossbreeded with a different pollination from, say, an animal or something, like the fish in the strawberries incident, we do report on the packaging what is in there, or at least we should. So, honestly, I don't think that they're not safe. They're relatively safe, and we've been eating them for a while now, and no one has died yet that we know of.
That we know of. There are actually not enough studies to prove that what they're putting into these plants is not harmful to people with allergies. Yeah.
Okay, so next question. What is the impact of GM crops on the environment? Would you like to?
Well, my associate over in Chicago, who couldn't join me today, will answer that one for us. Danielle? Thank you, Danielle.
Okay, so now we'll hear from Green Peas.
Well, bioengineered crops can do damages that we didn't actually think possible. Like, they could invent insect-resistant crops that they don't mean to harm, say, a monarch butterfly, but that will go on to harm them, and then those insects will become extinct and stop pollination.
That's a great answer. But GM crops reduce world hunger.
Well, Nancy, there's 7 billion people in this world, right? So I don't think with what we have going with us today that we could feed the population of the earth with organic crops. So GMOs or GMCs are probably the best way to feed as many people as we can and fix the malnutrition epidemic that we have going on around the world.
Well, actually, the real causes of hunger are poverty, inequality, and lack of access to food and land. Bioengineering doesn't do anything to fix these problems. They don't address the needs of food production in developing countries. and they offer conveniences for the farmer, but they don't really do anything to better the economy, to help them grow and not be in poverty on the farm.
So if GMs were to be on the market, do you think they should be labeled?
Labeling would incite fear and needless hinder to the public. The Food and Drug Administration of the U.S. requires labeling based on food content and nutrition, but not on the process by which the product was created. So legally, we don't have to, but maybe we do in the state's economy.
Well, consumers have the right to know if what they're purchasing has been modified, because some consumers may not want to eat it due to health, religious, or ethical concerns, and not providing labels to whether or not they've been modified is not safe.
Okay. So who even benefits from these GM crops?
I would say everybody benefits in a way. The farmers produce better yields, the environment has less pesticides in it, and there's more food to go around in general. So
I think people that benefit the most are biotech companies, because farmers have to pay extra for when they purchase GM seeds, and the yield of the crops isn't improved. So consumers really, they don't get any benefits besides the uncertain long-term effects on their health.
Okay. So last question, should patenting of GM crops be permitted?
Well, protection of intellectual property is necessary to foster the research needed in development. These beneficial products are the work of scientists and intellectuals, so there should be patents allowed on GM crops.
Well, patents on life forms are unethical and offensive. It encourages biopiracy, which is virtual theft of natural resources in developing countries. And a biotech company may take a plant from a public seed bank, for example, and a seed that's been saved and protected by stewardship of local farmers for many generations. So developing countries shouldn't have patent seeds.
Well, that was a great discussion between Greenpeas and Ding.